Hey there, YouTube friends. We're going to be laying a floor down in our den today. We went to Lowe's and we picked up Stainmaster Ambleside Elm laminate flooring. This is it over here. Nice and light, so it should brighten up the room a bit. You'll get to see what that looks like. And we've done a lot of floors before in our lifetime. So this will be one more. Just got to do some preliminary work, clear the room out, and do some math. And we'll get right to it. Here's a look at the floor that we're going over. The previous owner put down these peel and stick vinyl planks, and he went widthwise in the room. We're going to go lengthwise because we feel that's a better look, and we're just going to go right over this floor. That's not a big deal. We'll just go right over it. Now, the most important thing, if you plan on doing a job like this yourself, is to do the math before you get started. Especially with the first row, you want to get that first row right. This way, when you get to the last row on the other side of the room, it's just not like a ½ inch. You know, you want to make sure that you have a nice sized plank when you get to the other side of the room. And you also have to plan out for different things, like in this case over here, we just follow that plank along the wall, and then we get to the sliding glass door, you can see there's going to be like a 2-inch gap right over here. So we have to do the math. So when we get to this point, we could put a full piece in like that, so it looks right. So this first row we're going to have to cut down. I think in our case we've got to cut that first plank down to about 4 inches. All right, now these planks also have the padding on the back, so we don't have to worry about putting any padding down. All right, so let's get to it. First thing, I just have to cut this tongue off. Okay, now I just have to rip this plank down. Okay, so getting the first row right is the most important thing and the thing you got to think about most. All right, so here is the first piece. I cut that tongue off down here so we can go right against the brick over there. Leave just a little space. And I press it against the baseboard here. And you can see I have spacers, right? So then the next piece will go over here, just like that. And you know, when we're done, we'll put the shoe molding up, so when you pull the spacers out, the shoe molding covers that space and there's room for expansion so your floor doesn't buckle. That's why we do that. All right, so then when we get to the second row, you don't want the same length as the first piece you put down. So we'll cut probably about like maybe 12 inches off over here. And then when we put the next piece, it's staggered. We want to stagger the joints. So when we lay the second row, we want it to be like that. So this joint is like in the middle of a board. All right, so that's about it. Now I'll just go cut the tongue off of this, and I'll cut it in half, and then I'll show you how we lay it down. All right, the first thing we're going to do is lay these pieces that I ripped down. These are the first two pieces. Then lock them into place. And we're going to slide it against the wall. And I already have my spacers there. All right. And then we'll take this piece down here. We're going to start the second row. Again, we're going to push it against the wall, tilt it, push it in, and push it down. All right, now with my tapping block, I'm just going to give a little tap so they lock in. Okay, so here's the joint on the first row. So I'm just going to slide it in, tilt it, try to get it in tight. Push down. Like that. Give it a little tap. I find this to be the hardest part, getting the first row in. But now we got to knock it down to lock in there. So we'll tap in this end. We got a little bit more to go down there. All right, so now we're going to lay this piece down, and because the bookcase is here and there's no baseboard here, we want to recess it back here against the wall. So I just have to cut to this line here to make it fit. That's 5/8 of an inch, and I'm going to use my multi-tool. And this comes in handy, and you definitely need it. So I'll just stop there, and then I'm going to trim all of this off. Okay, now I'm just going to cut this one slip raw 5/8. Okay, so there's that piece I just laid for where the bookcase is going to go. Right, and as we're going along, we're just going to expand upon the rows. So we're just going to continue the process as we go. Okay, so now we ran into our first obstacle. We have this wood molding here. And we're going to have to undercut that and slide the flooring underneath so it looks proper. Now you can see over here, you know, the previous owner didn't do that, so you have this space here that doesn't look good. So this takes a little patience, but first we'll undercut all of this so we can slide the flooring underneath, and then it'll look nice and clean. Okay, so what we're going to do, you can see right here we have like 2 pieces of molding. So we got to cut through this one and this one. I don't think I'm going to cut through this one because this might be a 2x4. There's so much paint on it. I don't know exactly what this is. So I'm just going to cut through these 2. So we'll slip the floor under, and then I'll just try to cut it real tight so you don't see anything over here. Again, we're using a multi-tool. Okay, so we got through that first piece of molding. You're going to see we're going to slip right under like that. Now there's another piece I got to get to, so I'll do that now. There are those pieces we cut around the door, and this is how far we got. Just put a couple of rows down, but we're going to stop now. We're going to get some dinner, and then we'll pick it up tomorrow, being that we had a late start today. You can see it's dark out, so we'll pick it up tomorrow. Okay, so now we're doing an end piece over here. And it has to lay like that. But what we're going to do is we're going to flip it around so we can get the measurement. Alright, so we'll put it against the wall. And right where it meets over here, I'll make a pencil mark, and this is where we'll cut. Alright, you can see we got it in, but we have to close this up here. So you can just take a pry bar and try to pull it in like that. And now we're nice and tight. Alright, so when I'm putting the new plank down, what I want to do is I want to put the tongue in the groove over here. Alright, I want to pull it down and overlap these 2 tongues over here. This way, when I knock it down this way, we don't have too far to go. You want those 2 tongues to overlap. Now, I don't know if the camera will pick it up. When I have it down, I'm just going to hit it with the hammer, and you'll see this close a little bit. Just like that. I'll hit it over here, we'll close it. And now Rita will help me close this up over here. It definitely helps to have a partner. Rita's going to help me out here.
And this row that we're working on tends to lift up, so as Steve taps, I'm pushing it down to the floor a little bit so that it closes.
All right, and I'm using the 2x4 as a tapping block, and I'm just going to gently tap on the tongue down here.
It closed up.
Okay.
We have a few different boxes open. This way we can always pick a different plank to mix up the lot.
Okay, in some cases we need to use a bigger pull bar. You want to be careful with the pull bar because you can do damage. So first I'm just going to get it back where I need it. Open it up like that a little bit. And put a washcloth underneath. And again, Rita, the bigger hammer, Rita's going to guide me down. So as I'm swinging, we know how we're doing. Ready?
Yep. All right.
You good?
Yep. Good.
Okay. Okay, you can see we're getting into the home stretch here. And we're on the last row, but I'm going to have to cheat a little bit to get under the threshold of that door. So I cut off the tongue on the side closest to me and where it's going to meet that other piece right there. So I'm going to glue that down, and that'll be that. Alright, so now we put the finishing touches on. Just to nail in the shoe line. Make sure it's pressed to the floor. There we go. Here's a final look at the floor. We're happy with the way it turned out. Much cleaner and brighter. And as far as a product goes, this is one of the better ones. There was no chipping when I cut the planks. They clicked in easy, so pretty good product. And we have 2 boxes left that we'll take back to Lowe's and maybe do another home improvement. But it's nice. It has that kind of beachy, cottagey vibe. We still have some more touch-ups to do over here. Some paint, filling in some holes. Let's look around the door. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe. And we'll catch you next time.